I'm back. I have a project here. Need to get this ready for plowing soon. So what I did was, probably gonna do a couple videos on this, but I took the bed off. There's 4 bolts on each side. It's pretty easy. So you have to take the 2 bolts out of each taillight and then run the wires through those small holes right there down. All right, so you take off the 2 taillights, take off, there's 2 bolts in the back here and 2 bolts in the front over here on each side. Once you do that, the bed lifts right off once you disconnect the gas. All right, so I'll show you what's going on here. So here's the bolt holes. So here's what you can see right there. There's 1, 2, and then you can see over here. So you got 3, 4. So just these 2 right here. From here back, there's no bolts. So you got 1 here, you got the fillet nut cap, and all this. All right. So I got some stuff going on here. Obviously, living in New England, it's pretty rusty over here. So the shocks are brand new, believe it or not, and they already look like shit. So those are Rancheros. So what I'm gonna do over here is I'm gonna put some new universal joints in my drive shaft. I'm gonna cut this exhaust out, put a new one on, and I'm also gonna take the manifolds off and put new manifolds on as well. Another thing I got going on here is the center brake line is rotted through. So you can see over here, I had a brake leak over here. The line doesn't look too bad. So I'm gonna put a compression fitting. It's gonna be hidden over the gas tank with the bed on it, so they're not gonna know. And then I'm gonna bend some new ones for the bottom here. But I'm using nickel copper. It bends easy and it works nice. You can see by the rest of the lines, they're not in bad shape. They're not gonna break. They look like they still got a lot of good use out of them. So what I'm gonna do as well is I power washed it already, but I'm gonna take a wheel to the frame. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray it with some primer and I'm gonna spray it with some undercoating. So I'm gonna pull the harnesses off, get those back, prime it, get some nice undercoating on it. That way there won't be any more rust. So it's kind of like a rust preventative. There's only around 170,000 miles, 180,000 miles on this truck. It's a 5.7 Hemi, so I want to keep it around a little bit longer for plowing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prime that. I'm going to, again, put a new 3-inch exhaust on. I'm going to go with the factory. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm going to put new manifolds on, and it should look pretty nice by the time I'm done. So it'll be all painted up. Everything will be nice and new looking. It'll be sounding good. Once I do the manifold, I'll do a full tune-up on that. But the 2 manifolds are going to be a pain in the ass, I think. So if anybody's done this before, let me know. I think my easiest bet is to take out my headlight and take the front fender right off, along with the inner wheel. This will come off right with it. So I think it's 4 bolts. The reason why is because the manifold's a little tough to get to, and I think if I take this off, I don't know if you've ever seen these trucks, but they're all open, okay? So it'll definitely make my life easier. The front bumper will stay on. That won't be any issues. And then with the bed, I'm gonna fix the metal where it's rusted through, and I'm gonna do a spray and bedliner. So I'm gonna take a hammer and dolly and kind of get some of the dents out, but otherwise the bed's in pretty good shape. You got the typical rust over here. What I'll do is I'll cut that out, put some sheet metal on, and then I'll do the rubber fender flares. So the truck will be in good shape by the time I'm done. So if anybody wants to see this or has done it themselves, please comment, and I'll be putting up videos every step of the way for this. All right. Thanks guys for watching. I always appreciate it. And if you want to see this, like and subscribe. Thanks.